Oh god. Resident Evil Afterlife is the fourth installment of the Resident Evil movie franchise, and it came out in 2010. And it is the first movie since the original one in 2002 that is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, the creator of this franchise. And I missed him. I truly missed him. Technically speaking, this is the worst one. By far. But it's also the main reason why I like it so much. I mean, this movie is an endless source of entertainment for me. This is what I like to call the prototype, the best movie to explain what a mindless action movie is. This is the pure definition of a mindless action movie. I mean, excessive amount of slow motion when nothing is happening. If this movie was played at normal speed, it would be 45-50 minutes long. Instead it's 90 minutes long, but still, boy, there's a lot of slow motion. Completely unnecessary, but it's so much fun. It really is. The CGI is there, it looks laughable in a couple of sequences, but for the most part there are practical effects for the zombies. It's cool makeup, honestly, it really is. It's almost even better than the one in Extinction, which looked kind of cheap in a couple of sequences. But this story here is non-existent. I mean, this is probably the one that's most influenced by video games after Apocalypse, because this came out a year after Resident Evil 5 was released, and you can see that pretty clearly in the story department, because this time around we have Albert Wesker, who had a small cameo in the third movie, but now he is the main villain of the movie, and he was, or still is, I don't know, the villain in the video game franchise. And in Resident Evil 5, he has acquired some kind of superhuman abilities, thanks to the Tyrant virus, or whatever it was, and he has a lot of skills that look badass in the game, because it is an action video game. But watching Albert Wesker in this movie is amazing. The best sequence in the entire movie is the final one when Alice, Chris Redfield, who is in this movie, and Claire Redfield are fighting Wesker. And it's straight out from the fifth video game, and it's such a joy to watch. It's horrible, it's laughable, and I love it. I love every second of it. There's really nothing else to see. That's pretty much the entire fight. Needless slow motion, him just going and pew pew moving. I love that move when he does in slow motion. It's truly impressive how well they replicated it and yet made it look dumb. But I respect that, I honestly do. And the rest of the cast is laughable. As always, the video game characters are not like they are in the video game, especially Chris Redfield, who is a true badass in the games. Here is some generic guy, brother of Claire, who is much more interesting in this movie. I do like Alice quite a lot in this one, and I do like the action sequences. This movie is chock full of them, and there is no logic whatsoever. For example, there is, for some reason, one of the Majin, or whatever they're called from the video games, the big dude with the axe and the sack on his head, is in this movie. It comes from nowhere. He manages, I think, to open the gate, and he is much slower than the zombies, and yet there is a fight with him while there are no zombies, and he is the first guy to enter the shower room. I mean, if he's slower than the zombies and he opened the gate, where are the zombies? I mean, it makes no sense at all. There are some amazingly awful action moments, like when she is just sliding down the building. It looks bad, and they also have slow motion just to make it look even worse. But I could talk endlessly about the amount of dumb things in this movie, but the best way to explain why I like it is I laugh a lot. Some things are intentional, you can tell, but other things are not, and I still love this movie to death. It's god awful. It's poorly made, but you can feel the passion from the filmmaker, and honestly, it's a fun movie. I've seen London Has Fallen. While Has Fallen is a nice action movie, London Has Fallen I was expecting to be kind of a trashy action movie. It was boring as hell, and I did not care about anything that was going on, and I disliked the main character. However, with Resident Evil Afterlife, you have shit story, you have cool action sequences that make no sense, you have a shit ton of slow motion used in fun ways, and you enjoy yourself. You can watch this movie and you can hate it as much as you want, but if you're like me and just watching, you can watch amazing art movies. I loved Nocturnal Animals from last year, I loved Silence, but I also love Resident Evil Afterlife. It makes no sense probably to a lot of people, but I truly love it and I recommend you check it out. If you don't want to watch any of the Resident Evil movies, just watch this one while you're drunk or with friends and you're gonna have a hell of a time. But still guys, what do you think of Resident Evil Afterlife? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Tell me in the comments below. Thanks guys for watching, to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.